ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनस्य भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 13, verse number 38. So Sri Krishna is concluding his teachings to the Kumaras who had posed a question to Brahma about the entanglement of mind and sense objects. So when Brahma was not able to answer, then Krishna appeared in the form of Hamsa avatar and he replied. So his teachings are over in the previous verse, because in the last two verses he has described the behavior of a person who has attained perfection, Siddha Purusha. how he lives after attaining the Jivan Mukti state. The basic essence of his teaching was Viveka, or discernment between body and the Atma. And if one understands this following Gyan Marg, then one identifies with Brahman. If one is following Bhakti Marg, then one engages in the service of Bhagavan. So that is the basic essence of his teaching. Now he is just concluding his talk. Purushottam Prabhu.
I have a question about these three avasthas. We talk about the Pratya, Tejas and Vishwa. And those are the three deities called Buddhi Vrittis of the three Prakriti Gunas, and Jagrat, Swapna and Susupti. But then in Susupti, we said Ahankar is gone, Ahankar is not there. Then about Ahankar is Buddhi is there, or how could Buddhi be above Ahankar? Or is it the Mahat which is considered as above the Ahankar?
Yeah, Mahat is also sometimes called Buddhi Tattva. If you remember Sankhya Karika, they also call it Buddhi.
But that Mahatva is, I thought, is a Samashti only, not Vyasti.
Yeah, Vyasti is also there, that is called Chitta. Chitta is part
So
of
above
it.
Ahankar, that is the Chitta is there.
Yeah, that's why I said Chitta Buddhi Ahankar Man. Chitta is Vasudeva,
Okay.
Ahankar is Sankarshan.
Yes. Okay. Okay, thank you.
So he says, Maya etaduktam vo vipraguhyam yat sankhya yogayoho janita magatam yagyam yusmad dharma vivikshaya. So he is now revealing about his own personality, because he came and he just started asking them, because they said Ko Bhavan. So then he smashed them on their question, and then he spoke. So now he says that Maya etad muktam vo vipraguhyam yat sankhya yogayo. So he says that, O Brahmanas, what I have spoken to you, this is the secret message of Sankhya and Yoga. So Sankhya and Yoga are twin philosophies. Yoga is more about the practice part, Sankhya is more about the theory part. So they are complementary to each other. It's like we have Purmimansa and Uttarmimansa. So he says, Guhyam yat Sankhya Yogayo, I have spoken this to you. Janita Magatam Yagyam Yusmad Dharma Vikshaya. So he says, I wish to speak to you about Dharma. Therefore I came here, and I am Yagya Purusha. Yagya. So verse 38. Ukte arthe tesham vishwasartham swaswarupam aha maya iti. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says that why is he speaking like this about himself? He says to instill faith in the Kumaras about his teachings. Because if you understand that teaching is coming from an authentic source, then you believe it. Otherwise you may not put your trust. So sometimes you have to introduce yourself. If you are a speaker somewhere and people are not known, then the speaker is introduced, his credentials are described, so that the audience can understand about the speaker. So here also he is speaking about himself. Swasarupa Mahamayati. Sankhyam Atman Atma Viveka. What is Sankhya? The basic teaching of Sankhya is Prakriti Purus Viveka. So Atma and Atma. Anatma is Prakriti, Atma is Purusha. So this is the basic teaching of Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya also means knowledge, Viveka. And yoga astanga. And yoga is astanga. Yam niyam asana pranayam pratyahar dharana dhyana samadhi. 8 limbs. So dharmasya vivakshaya anena dharmapi upadeshta iti gaya. And one may say that he is saying he came to speak about dharma. So he says, by teaching them about Sankhya and Yoga, dharma is also stated. Because Yoga has also yama niyama. Those are the principle of dharma. Sankhya also speaks about, and it talks about the guna and dosha, talks about the dharmas. So, but he said Sankhya is primarily the viveka, the discernment between body and the self. Ateva yattena hamsa rupene brahmane abhyatha madhava iti anuvado bhavishyati. So later on Uddhava will speak in 17th chapter that you spoke this in the form of hamsa to the brahmanas, to Brahma. So this will be refer to them.
How does the word yagya fit?
Yagya by Vishnu, it is the name of Vishnu.
So yagyam is a definition of, it is a visheshan
It is
of...
his name, Aham Yagyam. Śrīmad-Bhāgavata. Says Janita Agatam Yagyam. Know that Yagya, I am Yagya who has come here. Aham yogasya sankhyaśya satyasya artasya tejasaha parayanam dvijashrestha shriya kirtir dhamasya cha. So he says that I am the shelter of yoga, sankhya, truthfulness, rita, the principles, tejas, the pravas, the best of the dvijas, the Sri, the beauty, kirti, fame, and control of mind. So he says he is the shelter. Shelter means that these things are related to him. If you engage them independently, then they don't have much value. If you do yoga without Bhagavan, Sankhya, what is truthfulness? He is the Satyam Param Dhimahi. So he is referring to that. अहो अद्भुतम ज्ञानम अशोषम इति अति चमत्कारवतः स्थान अलक्षाहमिति. So when the Kumaras heard this, they were astonished that we have heard this wonderful teaching from you. So they felt very elated. So then pointing to them he spoke this. Saritam cha srunita vani satyam cha samdarshanam. So these two words he has used Rita and Satya. It's also described with Satya Netram, that his two eyes are Rita and Satya. So generally the word Rita also means truth, Satya is truth, but when they are used together then some different distinction has to be made. So later on he will himself say Ritam cha sunrita vani. That Ritam means the true speech, and Satyam cha samdarshanam, and Satyam means seeing the equanimity in everything, means seeing the presence of Bhagavan in everything. That is the truth. Iti agre vakshyate, this will come later on. Tejaha prabhava, the word tejas means pravas, influence. Etasham prayanam paramashra. So he says that I am the supreme shelter of all this. And then he says, Mam bhajanti gunaha sarve nirgunam nirpekshakam Sruhidam priyamatmanam samya sangadayo gunaha. So he says that all gunas they serve me. Mam bhajanti guna sarve. Nirgunam Nirapekshakam, who is Nirguna, free from the gunas of Prakriti, and who is Nirapeksha, who is not dependent on anything, self-subsisting. And Suhridam Priyam Atmanam, I am the friend of everyone, I am dear to all, I am the self, Samya Asang Adayo Aguna. So these qualities of being equanimous, Asanga means attached, says all these guna, he calls them as aguna, means these are not material gunas. So material gunas, they transform, they change. So by calling them aguna means that they are eternal qualities in it. Nanu aham parayanamiti tvadvakyadeva tavasmin dehe abhimano drishyate ityate katham jnanam asmana shikshyat bhavan iti asank dvechet satyam. So somebody speaks like this, the natural feeling comes that he was saying that you should rise above ahankara, but he himself is speaking out of ahankara, I am yajna, I am this, I am that. So if the Kumaras have this doubt that you also have abhiman, so how is that you are speaking to us like this? So it looks like you are only talking, but have not realized what you are saying. Just memorized the slokas and then repeating them here. So he says, because you are saying I am the shelter, aham parayanamiti tvadvakyadeva tavasmin dehe. So you also have attachment to your body, because you are saying I am the shelter, and you are saying give up attachment to body. So how can we put trust in your words? So then he says, yes, it's true that I also have ahankara in my body, but it is not the material one. So he says, naidam mama shariram jivasyeva swasmad bhinnam bhautikam. So he says, my body is not like the body which people in the material world have, which are different from themselves. My body is not different from me. There is no duality of body and the embodied in my case. So we are one unit. What about the ahankara you are speaking? He says, napiyatra ahankaradikam api pradhanikam. And my ahankara is not a product of pradhana. Pradhana mahtattva than ahankara. So he says, my senses, my body, mind, etc., they are not products of Prakriti or Pradhan. So therefore he says they are not Pradhanik. Then what they are? Kintu mat swarup bhutam. But they are part of my swarupa. So they are not different from my swarupa, and thus they are Satchidanandamayam. So they are not material, they are eternal and conscious and blissful, unlike the material body which is jada, inert. So mam nirgunam maik gunatitam sarve guna bhajanti. So all the gunas, they serve me, who is nirguna. So nirguna does not mean qualityless, but not having material qualities. And nirpekshakam maik gunapeksha shunyam. I am nirpeksha means I don't depend on the material gunas at all. Kintu sruhidam svabhakta jananam hitkaranam. And I am the sruhid of my devotees, I do welfare to them. Yatah priyam tesham. Why? Because I am very dear to them. Preya vishay bhutam tesu priti kartaram cha. And not only that I am object of their love, but I also love them. So that is Teshu Priti Kartaram. So Igubdha Gya Prikir Kira Kaiti Kartri Karpratya Vidhe. So the Priya, because if he wants to make Priya means lover, not the beloved, then you have to apply the Kapratya in Kartrivachya. Kete Guna, what are the gunas? He says Samyam, Sarvatra Prakrita Vastu Adasinyam, Samatvam cha. Aprakriteshu Swabhaktesu Asanga Ashaktesu. So I am completely indifferent to the material sense objects, and I am very much attached to my devotees. Tadadhyaha Adi Shabdat Pratham Skande Pratyukta. So these are my qualities, and by Adi, etc., there are more which were described by Mother Earth in the first canto, Satya Sauchadayascha. So many qualities of Krishna described as truthfulness, cleanliness, and so on. And these qualities are aguna. So aguna means guna parinam rupana bhavanti kintu nitya ityartha. So they are not modifications or products of the gunas, therefore they are eternal, they are transcendental, made from Antaranga Shakti. Iti Sri Swami Charana, this is stated by Sridhar Swami in his commentary. Ime chanye cha bhagavan nitya yatra mahaguna iti. So this is from first canto, that these qualities and then many more great qualities exist in Bhagavan. Prathame cha atah swarup bhuta eva guna atmanam swarupam eva bhajanti. So therefore these qualities are also his swarup bhuta qualities, means they are part of his swarupa. So therefore he says atmanam, that bhajanti mam atmanam. Mam bhajanti guna sarve priyam atmanam. Atmanam means his swarup, means part of his swarup. Na tasya karyam karnam cha vidyate ityana. So therefore it is described that he does not have any cause and he does not have any material senses. And swabhavaki jnana bala kriya cha. He has natural qualities, knowledge, strength, activities. So swabhavaki means they are part of his swarupa, not external imposition. So this is the difference between Vaishnava understanding and the Advaitavad. In Advaitavad, the ultimate reality is Brahman, and Brahman has no qualities, no energy, no name, no form, nothing. Everything is by Maya. So it is all the glories to Maya that you have Krishna, you have Rama, Nrsimhadev, not because of Brahman. It's Maya which brings all this variety in Brahman. So therefore it is not Swabhavaki Jnana Bal Kriya.
You translate the word karyam in this Shruti?
Means he is not a product. Natasya karyam karnam cha vidyate. He is not a karya.
He has no cause, in other words. And what will be the meaning of the word karanam?
Senses.
He has no material senses.
Iti me chinna sandeha muniyah sankadayah sabhajitva pariya bhaktya granat samstavaihi. So he says that in this way, the sages whose doubts were completely removed, sages headed by Sanaka, so they worshipped me with devotion and praised me with various prayers Sanstavaya Agranat. So Agranat Agranantam Am Tushtavude recited prayers for me. Tairaham Pujita Samyak Sanstuta Paramarshibhi Pratyaya Swakam Dhama Pashyatah Parameshthina. So when I have been worshipped by them and praised by the great sages, then I went to my own abode while Brahma was looking on. So suddenly he disappeared. Iti Śrīmad-Bhāgavate Mahapurane Paramhansyam Samhitayam Ekadas Skande Trayodas Adhyaya. This is the end of 13th chapter, 11th canto. Pratyaya Pratyagato Asmi. Pratyaya means I returned to my own abode. Iti Sarartha Darshinyam Harshinyam Bhakti-Chetsam Ekadasya Sangata Sangato Bhutva Trayodasa. This is the commentary, 13th chapter, Sarartha Darshini by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So then comes chapter number 14, at Chaturdasho Adhyaya. So Uddhava raises a question to him. Says Vadanti Krishna Shreyamsi Bahuni Brahmavadinaha Tesham Vikalpa Pradhanyam Utaho Eka Mukhyata. So he says that those who know the Vedas, they speak of many paths for attaining ultimate good, Shreyas. So now these various processes, various paths, he says that are they optional? Means you can take this or you can take that. Just like there is a statement, Vrihi Virya Jayati Yavairva, that you can do the yajna, Agnihotra by Vrihi, rice, or by barley. So this is called Vikalpa. Same result you will get. Barley is not available. Vrihi is not available, take barley. So is it all these processes are all like that, or you can take Gyan Marg, Yoga Marg, Karma Marg, Bhakti Marg, various processes. Or Pradhanyam, or one is superior than others. Although option is there, but one is superior. Or Ek Mukhyata, or although all these paths are there, but actually there is only one path, which is the supreme path. So what is it? Why is he asking? Because he says earlier you spoke about bhakti, then you spoke about Gyan Marg. So he says, Bhavato Udahrita Swamin Bhakti Yoga Anapekshita Nirasya Sarvata Sangam Yena Toi Avishain Mana. That you have spoken about Bhakti Yoga, which is not dependent on anything else. And you said that giving up everything, all attachments, you will be able to fix your mind on me through this Bhakti Yoga. Yena Tvai Avishet Mana. So what exactly is about these processes? So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti gave the summary of the chapter first. Bhaktehe Krishna Vashikara Sarvotkarshas Chaturdashe Tadvatam Cha Mumukshoho Sammatam Dhyanam Cha Varnitam. So in the 14th chapter there is a description of bhakti, which is the best means to captivate Krishna. And it will also talk about the process of meditation for the devotees as well as those who want to attain moksha. Bhakta.
Tadvatam cha mumuksho sammatam dhyanam. They are, how come they become mumukshus?
There are two mumukshu also, and bhakta. Dhyan is described for both. Srutanam srotavyanam cha shreya sadhananam tartamyadikam pritchati vadanti iti. So Uddhava is asking about the relative gradation among the various paths which he has heard or which he may hear in future. So he wants to know which path is superior, which path is inferior, or they are all equal, etc. Shreyamsi, Shreya sadhanani. Shreyamsi means that they are the means to attain the ultimate good. Kim vikalpena pradhanyam idam pradhanam idam va pradhanam utaho ekasyeva mukhyata idameva pradhanam. So is it that they are optionally primary, means this is also primary, this is also primary, means they are all good, same, equal, or one is better than everything else? I want to know that. As far as I know, bhavan mate tu bhakti yoga eva mukhya. So in your opinion, it is only bhakti yoga which is primary, because you have spoken like that. Anapekshita niskamo bhakti eva bhavta udahrita utkarshena ahrita anita. So bhakti yoga, which is not motivated by any material desire, that has been spoken by you, or you have brought that as the supreme. Yena manastvadavishtam syat. By this bhakti yoga, the mind becomes absorbed in you. Sakim sarvesham api shrashtya sammatah tavaiva iti nirdharya uchyatam iti bhava. So he is saying that is it that this bhakti yoga is accepted as the supreme path by everybody, or it is just your opinion like that? So please make this clear to me. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So Krishna answers. Kalena nashta pralye vaniyam ved sangita mamadau brahmane prokta dharmo yasyam madatmakaha. So he says that in due course of time, in dissolution, this speech, which is called Veda, was lost. So then at the beginning of creation, I spoke this knowledge to Brahma. And in this Veda, what is that? Dharmo yasyam madatmaka. So this is very important, because Krishna is saying here that what are the Vedas speaking? They are speaking about dharma, which is madatmak dharma. That dharma in which I am the Atma, which means it speaks about devotion. So it came earlier in second canto. Brahma, when he got the Vedas, he studied it 3 times. Triranvikshak kutasthatmani ratir bhavet. So after studying it 3 times, he concluded that the basic message of the Veda is Atmani rati bhavet, that one becomes devoted to Paramatma. So he also concluded that the essence of Veda is in Bhakti Yoga. So this is something which is not known to people, because people think that Veda is talking about karmas, stutis, prayers, yagyas. Krishna also said Tragunya Vishya Vedanis Tragunya Bhavarjuna. But then he also says Vedascha Sarvairahameva Vedya. So this statement sounds very confusing. But here he makes it very clear, dharma yasyam madatmaka. So this speech in the form of the Vedas is speaking about dharma, which is about me. So therefore, because Uddhava said, Brahmavadinam bahuni shreyamsi vadanti vadinam, that no word of the Vedas speaks. So he is saying that you spoke about the Vedas, I will tell you what is Veda. So he says Veda is about my dharma. भोद्धवा सर्वमतानि वेदोत्थानि उत्थितानि तस्य वेदस्य तु मद्भक्ति योग एव तात्पर्यमित्यः. So he says that Uddhava, you should know that all the various paths, they all have come from the Vedas. But what is Veda all about? He says it's all about bhakti. So he will speak later on where he says that Kim vidhatte kim adhatte kim anudya vikalpye tasyadya hridayam mam vedana kasyana. I speak like that. One sloka will come later on. That what the Vedas, kim vidhatte kim achaste kim anudya vikalpyet ityasya hridayam loke nanyo mad veda kasyana. That what do they prescribe, what do they give optional, what do they say? No one else knows this except me. And then he says, what does it say? Mam vidhatte mam vikalpa apoyetvaham etavan sarveda artha shabda asthaya mavedam. He says Veda is actually giving injunction about me only, it describes me and all the processes are about me. He says this is the Vedartha. This is the meaning of all the Vedas. So understand this and don't be confused. So this comes few times here in 11th canto. Earlier also it came when he talk about the Vani, how manifested in the Brahma from Muladhara Chakra. Here also he is saying, he will say it further down. So this is important. So therefore he says Vedasya tu mad bhakti yoga eva tatparyan. So the intention of the Vedas is only in bhakti yoga. But it was lost in due course of time. Kalena madatmakaha mat swarup bhuta bhakti yogasya laduni sar bhutatvat. So in this describes dharma which is madatmaka, means mat swarup bhuta, which relates to my swarupa, which is bhakti yoga, which is the essence of Ladani, Shakti. Yadva mayyeva atma chittam yatah chittasya madavishta madbhaktya eva bhavit. Or it talks about dharma which makes the mind absorbed in me. And that dharma is bhakti yoga, because bhakti yoga brings absorption in Bhagavan. Bhaktya me kya grahya idi mat vachnat. And she said that I am attained only by bhakti. Bhaktya eva aham indriyai grahitum shakyo nanyatha iti tatra artho drashtavya. So he says I can be perceived only by the senses which are purified by bhakti, not by any other means, nanyatha. So he says this meaning will be described. Brahmavadi bhiruktanam mad bhakti yogadanyesham shreyasham mat prapkatva bhavata bhavat shreyastvam eva vastuto nasti. He says these other people who claim that they know the Vedas and they have propagated various paths which are devoid of bhakti. So he says those processes cannot reach me, means they cannot attain me through those processes. So therefore those processes really do not bring ultimate good. because they are all material activities. So one will remain here in the material world. So therefore they are not really Shreya. तेषां विकल्पतः प्राधान्येन एकस्य मुख्यत्वेन वा अजिज्ञास्येन तब किम प्रयोजनम. So he says, what will you gain by knowing whether they are optional or they are one primary, this, that. He says they are all not bringing Shreyas. So yen Shreyam apnuyat, Arjuna also said, Tadekam vad nishchitya. Please speak that one path by which I attain Shreyas. So Krishna spoke of bhakti also there in Gita. So it is only bhakti which brings good in this life, in future life. Because if all other paths are based on giving up, so then if you will give up, then how things will run here? You will have no interest in anything. So this whole creation, how will it function? So, but if you have bhakti, then you will maintain it. So therefore all the paths are inauspicious.
Babaji, this word mat prapakatva bhavat shreyas tvam eva vastuto nasti. Tvam,
Shreyastvam.
तुम्हारा श्रेय इससे नहीं होगा.
श्रेयस्त्वम. श्रेयस्वम त्वा प्रत्यय. श्रेयस्त्वम. Ghatatvam. You are hearing all the time Ghatatvam, Patatvam, and now you are asking Shreyastvam.
Okay. And Babaji, one more question is there. When he says Vedasya tu mad bhakti yoga eva tatparyam, all the Vedas have tatparya in my bhakti yoga. And then we also study that Traigunya Vishya Veda means
There also Tatparya is in Bhakti Yoga only.
Because of the earlier point which we studied, Balanam Anushasanam.
Yeah, because they are also trying to bring you to Bhakti. People have to start where they stand. So they are absorbed in gunas, so they give them process like that. But the Tatparya is here. One who has given the Vedas, he knows the Tatparya. That's why he says, Mam tu Vedana Kashana. That I know. Purushottamji.
What is the meaning of this Vajigyas?
Meaning of?
Vajigyasena tam kim prayojanam iti bhava.
Jigyasyena means Jigyas.
Jigyasena, it's a say why is it separate and Jigyasena is separate? Is that what it is?
Mukhyattvena va Jigyasyena.
Oh, okay, so it's a separate there. Wow, okay. Okay, thank you.
So verse number 4. Tena prokta cha putraya manve purvajaya sa tato bhrigvadaya grinnan sapta brahmarsha maharshaya. So he gave this knowledge to whom? Brahma. Says Mayadu Brahmane prokta. Tene Brahma hridacha adi kavi. So Krishna spoke to Brahma. Then Brahma spoke to his son Manu, Swayambhu Manu. And then Manu, he spoke to the 7 sages, Bhragavadi. So Tena Prokta cha Putraya Manuve Purvajaya. Manu is Purvaj. He was the first one. Then others came. Tato Bhragavadi, from him Bhrigu, etc. they learnt. And Saptam Brahmavarsa. So in the Manusmriti also, if you study, Bhrigu speaks what Manu said. Katham tato nana matani udbhutani. So why the various matas? If you spoke to Brahma and then Brahma spoke further down, why many matas came? He says because in between sages also came and they accepted according to their, everybody hears according to their mindset, their vasana. So they take different meaning. So then some people give stress to karma yoga, some people read Bhagavad Gita. So how many commentaries are there on Bhagavad Gita and still coming? More will come. So everybody sees something different in it. Although Krishna spoke to Arjuna, he only had one intention, one tatparya. But now so many varieties. So this is how varieties come. So he is also describing here. So Sardhairashtabi he is going to describe in 8 slokas. So Bhrigu Adaya, who are these Bhrigu Adaya? These are the 7 sages. Bhriguscha Marichi, Atri Angiraso Pulaste Pulha Kraturete cha Sapta Brahmana Prajapati. So these are the 7 sons of Brahma, they are all Prajapatis. So they all have lineages. Therefore in India, everybody associates their lineage with one of the sages. So this is Bhrigu, Marichi, Angiras, Pulastya, Pulaha, Kratu. These are the sages. Atri. And they are all Prajapatis. Techa, Te Maharshiyasya. So they Prajapati and they are Maharshis also. The rest of the commentaries for the upcoming sloka, he has put it in the wrong place. Tebhya pitribhya statputra devadanava guhyakaha manushyaha siddha gandharva savidyadhara charanaha kindeva kinnara naga raksha kim purushadayah bhavyastesham prakritayoh rajah sattva tamo bhavah. So from the sages, because the sages were Prajapati, so they created various types of living beings. So there were Pitars, their sons, Devas, Danavas, Guhyaka, human beings also, Siddha, Gandharva, Vidyadhara, Charana, Kindeva, Kinnara, Kimpurusha, Raksha, Naga. So they are living beings. Naga also, Naga generally means snake. And they also not just snakes, because they also studied Vedas. Snakes don't study Veda. So they all studied, because they had, but their prakritis are Raja, Sattva, Tamo, Bhuva. Some are Rajasic, some are Sattvic, some are Tamasic. So accordingly they accepted various meanings. So he comments on the word Kindeva. He says, what Deva? So they look like Deva somewhat. So they are called Kindeva. So Klama Sweda Dorgandhyadi Rahityena Kindeva Manushya Vaiti Sandehaspadi Bhuta Dvipantar Manushya. So this Kindeva are somebody who look like human beings, but they have some qualities of the Devas. So one of the quality of the Devas is that they don't get fatigued, klama, and they don't have sweat, so no deodorant is needed for them. So no sweat comes in their body, so no bad smell. Therefore it says Dorgandhyadi, no bad smell comes from their body. But these are Kindeva. Kindeva, Kim is applied when he says Kutsit, that what human being, what kind of Deva is this? Means not a complete Deva, somewhat. So he says this Kindeva are also human beings. Kindeva Manushya Vaiti Sindehaspadi Bhuta. So it's without they are born on another Dvipantar Manushya eva Kinnara. So Kinnara also like that. Nara means human being, Kinnara somewhat human beings. Some features like human beings, some other. Like sometimes they make this thing that he has a human face, horse body. Right? So that is called some type of Kinnara. And then Kim Purusha. Kinnara eva mukta sarirtava Kim Purusha kinchit Purusha eva vanarade. So Kim Purusha is also like that. Their face may be like human beings, body may be something else, body like human being, face like someone else. Like Hashirsha is there. He has a human body but face horse. So like that there are various types, Kim Purusha, Kinnara and Kindeva. They have some similarity with human beings. Like Hanuman, so they say they are monkeys, right? Hanuman is called monkey, but he is not a monkey. Monkeys don't speak and monkeys don't walk on two legs. They don't use their hands for like that. They walk like four-legged animal. They can jump. So Hanuman is not actually a monkey as we think. So he is also some species of human beings only, because he was also very learned. Because he was speaking with Ram, he also went to Lanka, he spoke with Ravan. Monkeys don't talk like that. But now we make them complete monkey with tail, everything. So they were putting tail, but they are not exactly monkey. So that's why the word Vanara also has the word Nara in it. Va Nara means is he a human being? You look at him, you get confused. Is he a human being? Looks like. So that is Vanara.
I was in this commentary, Mukhata Sharirova, this goes with the...
किधर भी लगा लो यार, क्या तुम पूछ रहे हैं? क्या फर्क पड़ता है? इधर लगा लो, उधर लगा लो, कुछ फर्क पड़ता है? सभी तो किंदेवा किन्नरा किम पुरुषा हैं.
इनमें कुछ क्लियर डिस्टिंक्शन नहीं,
कुछ पता नहीं है, भगवान ही जाने.
ठीक. And Babaji, in the third last line of the same commentary, he says Kratur iti etecha sapta brahmana. Then he says Prajapataye techa te maharishyascha. So these 7 brahmanas, these are Prajapatis also and these are Maharishis also. This is what he means to say.
Yeah. Sapta Maharshi.
Okay.
So Prakritaya Vasana Bhavya Kuta Raja Sattva Tamansi Bhuvo Janmasthani. So there this Bhavas Tesham Prakritaya. So their Prakriti or their nature is various type. So he says Prakriti here means Vasana. Because what makes you different is because of your vasanas. Different vasanas, the proclivities are there. So that makes different. And they are born from Rajas Sattva and Tamas. Rajas Sattva, Tamo Bhuva. So Bhuva means Janmasthani. This is the basis of them. Yasam ta bhutani deva asura manusyadini. So 3 primary divisions are Deva, Asura and Manusya. Deva above, Manusya in between, Asura down. And then varieties in between. That's why there are some people who are like in between Deva and Manusya. So therefore they are Kindeva. Then there are others who are between Manushya and Asuras. So they may be Kinnara, Kim Purusa. Hanuman is also called Kim Purusa sometimes. In the 5th canto, he is there in the Kim Purusa Varsha. There is a Varsha like Bharat Varsha. On Jambu Dvipa, one Kim Purush Varsha is there, so he is there. So that's why it is called Kim Purusha, means they are like human beings. Purushottam ji.
And Jambavan is also follows any one of these three things basically.
Three things means what?
This Kim Vanara,
No,
Kim Purusha and Kim Nara.
no, he is what? He is bear. He is a Rikshraj. He is called Rikshraj. याभिर्भूतानि भिद्यन्ते भूतानां मतयस्तथा यथा प्रकृति सर्वेषां चित्रावाचः स्रवन्ति. So now he is answering the question that how varieties come. So he says that because of these various prakriti, which was mentioned in the previous sloka, Bhavya Tesham Prakritaya, so because of that Bhutani Bhidyante. So the differences come between different living beings, which he means Bhutanam, and their mindset also changes. Because our body is made on our vasanas, so the mind, it's not only the body changing, accordingly to the body, mindset is also different. So not only the bodies are different, mindsets are different. And yatha prakriti sarvesham chitra vacha sravanti. And because of the variety in the prakriti, then their speech is also different. So variety of speech comes out. So variety of speech here is not that they are speaking just in a different tone, etc., but the understanding of the Vedas is different. And therefore they speak differently, that okay, speaking about karma, etc. So Chitra Vacha Vedarth Vyakhyan Rupa. So therefore he says Chitra differences happen. And evam prakriti vyachitrayat bhidyante matyo nrinam paramparyen kesamchit pakhanda matyo pare. So in this way, because of the variety in the nature, the understanding, the knowledge of the people becomes different. And this knowledge sometimes comes in parampara, paramparyen kesamchit, then it remains intact. But pakhanda matyo pare, there are also other people. They make their own ideas, they don't study in parampara. So then wrong understanding also comes. So parampariyena guru upades parampara. Parampara means the knowledge coming through the instruction of guru disciple. And pakhandamatiya atitam prakrititvat. Pakhandamatiya means that they are atheistic because of too much influence of tamas. Veda viruddha arthamatiya. So they speak against the meaning of the Vedas. Tena bhagirathya jalam suddham madhuram api tat tatvartir aranda nimba chinchak pittha kapitha bilva vishvrikshadibhi swaswa mula dwara grihitam virasam viruddhrasam cha yatha bhavet tathaiv tesam tesham vyakhyatrinam mukham prapya vedarthopi viraso viruddha phal pradasya bhavet. So he gives a very nice example. So he says that the Ganga river is flowing. It has nice sweet water. But on the bank of Ganga river there are various types of trees. So there is neem tree, kapitha tree, bilva tree, chinchak tree. So all these trees, they are taking water through their roots from the Ganga and giving different types of fruit. So although they are being nourished by the same water, the fruits are of different varieties because of the trees are different varieties. So in the same way, the different types of living beings, they study the Veda, they take the Veda, but because of their variety of the Prakriti, the nature, the Vasanas, so they give various meanings. So some meaning are whereas there is no good understanding, some are opposite, Viruddha Rasa. So then the Pakhandis, etc. also come out of that. So this is how the various panthas, various schools of thought come into existence, although they may be rooted in the same book, the Vedas. So we will speak more, we will stop here. Have any question?